Hi, I'm Nathan Costin. I'm 24 years old from Brisbane, Australia, and my favourite saint is not actually a saint yet. His name is Blessed Pier Giorgio Frasati. He's a young man who died at the age of 24, but he lived a life that impacted thousands. Pier Giorgio was born April 6, 1901, into a very wealthy family. His father was the ambassador to Germany, and his mother was a very accomplished artist. And he had a great opportunity to just indulge in a life of material wealth, but he showed us that holiness is possible through living out your friendships, your studies, your sport, and service to the poor, all in a relationship with Jesus Christ. Pier Giorgio was an excellent mountaineer, and he would often organise trips to go up to the mountains with his friends, and sometimes they'd be quite long trips. They'd have to catch the train in, and in that time, you had to fast the whole day from midnight onwards before Mass, so before you could receive our Lord in the Eucharist. And so they would have these overnight train trips, and he'd be there with all his mates, all his young friends, and they'd be laughing and joking and passing snacks and drinks around. But as soon as it hit midnight, Pier Giorgio would stop eating, would stop drinking, and he wouldn't make a big deal of it, but he just decided he just wouldn't eat, he wouldn't drink as soon as it passed midnight. And so the next morning, when they would all go to Mass, he would be the only one to receive our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament. He loved Jesus in the Eucharist, he loved adoration, he loved going to Mass. He actually got special permission to receive Holy Communion every single day, which was quite rare at the time. He would often get up early in the morning and go to adoration before school, and even sometimes spend all night in the adoration chapel. He wrote a letter to the Catholic youth of Poloni saying, "I urge you with all the strength of my soul to approach the Eucharistic table as often as possible." He never failed to share his love for our Lord in the Eucharist with his friends and with young people, and he always encouraged others to come before our Lord in the sacrament and pray. One of the ways in which he drew other young people into their relationship with Christ was he'd go to the pool hall and he'd play pool with them, and he'd bet and he'd say, "Well, if I lose, I'll pay up, but if I win, then you have to come with me to Holy." I've been so inspired and encouraged by Pier Giorgio's witness and testimony that I'd been saving up, and earlier this year I went on a pilgrimage to Italy, to Turin, to encounter this saintly young man, this man of the Beatitudes. I was able to pray at his tomb at the Cathedral of Turin and offer up a rosary and seek his intercession, that I too may be able to develop the interior life that he had, to be able to witness and share my faith in Jesus Christ the way that Pier Giorgio was able to with his friends. Pier Giorgio loved his Catholic faith. He loved the Catholic Church, and the fascist movement was growing very rapidly in Italy at the time when he was going around, and so he spent a lot of his energies and was very proactive in defending the Catholic Church. He also loved Our Lady. He had a great devotion to Mary, and you can see some of his relics here, some of the clothes that he used to wear, his pipe, his razor. But that book that you can see there, that's his diary. And in his diary, 1 month, he kept a record of how many times he went to Mass and how many rosaries he prayed. And in 1 month, he went to Mass 28 times and prayed 124 rosaries. So it gives you an insight into the depth of his spiritual life. And down the bottom here, you'll see some of his hiking gear, some of his climbing gear that he used to get up and down the mountains all day. Pier Giorgio really did live a life to the full. He was awake to the resurrection of Christ and wanted to share that with his friends. He saw faith in Jesus Christ as the solution to a lot of society's problems, and it's easy to see why both Pope Benedict and Blessed Pope John Paul II often pointed young people to the witness and testimony of Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati. He's blazed a trail for all young people who want to reach sanctification, and he did it by responding to the grace of God. And that's why Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati is my favourite saint in the making.